Hello and welcome to the RotoWire Fantasy Soccer Show. I am Adam Zdroik, joined by no one. Yep, I'm here by myself. The people enjoyed our previous discussion on showdowns, and I want to get something out before that showdown slate tomorrow on Tuesday. That's Burnley home against Leicester, and I'm just going to run down a few things, try and just discuss the slate a little bit, and just some content because we don't usually have a ton of showdown content, but it's a slower week. No Champions League this week, and I'm able to do the show. So hopefully this will help some people put together their lineups. But getting in the slate here, Burnley home. They have an implied 1.30 goal total. Leicester is away at 1.40. And so, it looks like a 1-1 type of match according to the odds. Is very similar to last week when Leicester went to Wolverhampton. And like the odds are pretty similar. I believe Wolverhampton were slight favorites in that one, but I mean, it's kind of the same idea here. Burnley, more defensive team. Leicester like going on the attack, like going on the counter, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a similar result here. I was looking through some numbers. Leicester do not have an away clean sheet since February of 2021. This is the Premier League only, so it's been a year since they've had an away clean sheet. So you got to think that Burnley are going to score. That's kind of what it comes down to. And looking at that Wolverhampton match, Wolverhampton led for about 60 minutes of that match. And just looking at the numbers, Leicester 64% possession, they racked up 17 shots compared to 11 for Wolves. And they ended with 10 corners and 34 crosses. So, there's a world in which the same result happens 2-1 Burnley, 1-0 Burnley, something like that, where, Burnley get a first half goal and Wolverhampton are just pushing. I mean, sorry, Leicester are pushing. And, that'll just rack up crossing opportunities, corner opportunities. I will say in that previous match, if you're looking at those numbers, James Madison came off the bench. So if you correlate those numbers or extrapolate those numbers to full 90, like he finished with 5 crosses and 3 corners in 16 minutes. So if the same kind of thing happens, like James Madison could be at a 10 plus cross game, and that's kind of where I'll start here for just cash captains. James Madison is pretty much he's going to be the most popular captain in cash games. There's really no question about it. Um, he's going to be on the majority of set pieces here, and they didn't. So this is a Tuesday match. They didn't have a match over the weekend. They played Thursday at Randers in Europa Conference League, and James Madison took all 6 of their corners in that match. He also played a full 90, so he's healthy. The other people that started in that match, Tielemans went 60 minutes, Albrighton went 60 minutes. So, other guys who actually take set pieces were in there. So it's pretty clear James Madison, pretty exclusive role in set pieces. So, that's not surprising at all. So, just looking at James Madison here on DraftKings. So, unsurprisingly, well, kind of surprisingly, actually, Patson Daka is the most expensive player. And then Dwight McNeil is actually more expensive than Madison, which I'm not really sure why. Leicester are favored, so you'd think that a guy like James Madison would be more expensive than McNeil, who has a split role in set pieces with Westwood or really whoever starts for Burnley. I guess that's another question. There's a chance Maxwell Cornet comes into the starting 11. That'll be something to look out for. He came back on the bench on Saturday, but he did not play. And so there's a possibility like he comes in for Jay Rodriguez up front. He comes in for Aaron Lennon on the wing. So that'll be something to watch out for. He sometimes takes set pieces, maybe not corners, but he does take set pieces. So that'll cut into set pieces for guys like McNeil and Westwood even more. So you got to think Leicester favored. It's not by much, but with an exclusive role in set pieces, you got to think Madison's going to be the first guy to go to in cash games, and then McNeil will probably be popular, even though he's expensive. I wouldn't say he's a must though. Like he's still like his upside is still pretty limited. Like he's had some better matches of late, but that was without Westwood. So you got to take that into account, really. I'm not sure he's going to match the 16-point floor he had against Tottenham in their last home match. But, if you just look at his numbers throughout the season, just he's just struggling to make the score sheet. So I think he even has fewer assists than Ashley Westwood, if that says anything. And, we always maybe not rip on Ashley Westwood, but we always mention that Westwood has a lack of upside. I think he's at double-digit fantasy points like 4 times this season. So when you're looking at that, and there's not really a must, I guess you could say, for cash games for Burnley. Like all these guys could have okay floors, and like Veghorst is. Let me see here. He's actually plus 175 to score, which is kind of high. I mean, actually, let me look at here. Okay, I had that mixed up here on the cheat sheet. If you're watching on YouTube, I got it pulled up. Rotowire.com, free 10-day trial /soccer trial. So get that. But I guess Daka and Veghorst have kind of similar odds, which I guess that makes sense. So Daka is expensive. He's not going to be too popular in cash games. Like you're paying that much for a guy who's probably not going to go full 90, doesn't have much of a floor. Like you're counting on a goal from him. We also got Jamie Vardy back. So Jamie Vardy's going to be on the bench. Brendan Rodgers already said that Jamie Vardy is going to be available. We don't know actually if he's going to play. He's been out for some time. So he could play for, 10, 20 minutes. You combine that with Iheanacho. So it's almost a guarantee that Daka's not going to go full 90, and then you're paying max price for him. Just not really a cash option when you look at it. But I mean, the kind of conversation, I guess, goes to McNeil. Depending on Cornette, if he starts, I'd still be wary of that because he has these injuries that has it's kind of hampered him all season. Now he has a foot issue. I don't think he's another guy. He's probably not going to go full 90. Yeah, he's an exciting player, but I'm just not sure what he's going to provide if he's in there for 60, 70 minutes. It's some of that kind of depends. He's been playing outside midfield as well as forward, so that'll be something to watch out for with lineups. And you can go down here on the list. Yuri Tielemans, like some people will look at, that Wolverhampton match. He was, 17.6 floor, but some of that is, James Madison didn't start that match. So Tielemans had some set pieces. He took 5 corners in that match. So I'm not sure, that same floor is not going to be there. He's always a guy that comes up from the midfield and he'll take a bunch of shots from outside the box, but it's not always something to rely on. Maybe in this match, depending on how things go. Like I said at the top, like if Burnley get an early goal, then there's always a chance that Tielemans is one of those guys who's just going to be ripping shots from outside the box, and we kind of saw that against Wolves. Like he's going to rack up the shots, so that'll be something to look out for him. But I mean, really on the slate, it's not a ton of I don't know quality, consistent guys outside of James Madison. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall is someone who is interesting. I'd like to see the starting 11 and where he lines up. Yeah, I mean, even in that match against Wolves, going into that match, we actually thought he was going to be taking the majority of set pieces because he took the majority of set pieces in the prior Europa match. And then, he didn't take any. Like Albrighton and Lookman actually took a couple corners in addition to Tielemans. But even still, like Dewsbury Hall got him forward enough to have a 10-point floor. He's kind of expensive at this point. He's more expensive than Harvey Barnes. He has a better floor than Harvey Barnes, but the upside isn't the same. Mark Albrighton's another guy to consider. I'm not sure he's going to start. I think, we have Ricardo Pereira coming back. Albrighton started the Europa Conference League match and he went 60 minutes, but Pereira should be the guy at right back. If not, I mean, there's always a chance. Like Albrighton's a guy that lines up as an attacking winger. And again, that'll be something to look out for in lineups because if Albrighton's playing, more as a winger, more in a forward role, possible set pieces at 7,400. It's always something to consider. I mentioned Veghorst here at 7,200. Pereira 7,000. Westwood 6,800. None of these guys really are I don't know, terribly exciting, I guess you want to say, because I mean that's kind of how Burnley matches go. If you want to say that, I mean Burnley are they sit back a lot. They're a little more defensive. Yeah, maybe they've been attacking a little more in recent matches, but they're still what I mean, their last match, like if you look at that, their last match against I just sorry, you're doing the solo show, so I'm just trying to remember all the stuff here. But yeah, their last match is at Crystal Palace, so they're outplayed for like 45 minutes in that match, and in the second half they, I don't know, something turned on. I guess they put at Westwood. He came on about 60th minute for Jack Cork, and they even things up in the second half, and they almost got a winner out of that. So they are a team that, I mean, it kind of depends on what happens, but it's kind of hard to ignore just how Burnley are playing. The last four home matches, they allowed 2 goals. They kept Tottenham scoreless. They kept Liverpool They kept Liverpool to 1 goal. Kept Manchester United 1 goal. So they're keeping all these elite teams pretty limited. And then like the one thing that kind of worries me about, if you want to go Nick Pope here, I'll mention Nick Pope later. Don't worry about it. But Nick Pope, he's 5,800. But these recent results between Leicester and Burnley are somewhat surprising. I remember in the past, I feel like I've bet an under between these teams multiple times. But just looking at this prior results, they played last in September, 2-2 result. Before that, last March, 1-1. Before that, 4-2 Leicester won. And then Burnley 2-1, 2-1 to Leicester, 2-1 to Leicester. You wouldn't think all these Burnley matches have goals, but something to do with this matchup, maybe something to do with the counter attack, or the way that Burnley, allow opportunities. If you want to go that route, you can just go pure goals. You'd go with Veghorst, you'd somehow find a way to get Daka in there. But I mean, the pricing of a guy like Harvey Barnes is going to help that. Depends if Lookman or Barnes are starting there up front, but you could take that route. Really, I'm not going with the 2-2 route. That's not what I do. I kind of don't like just playing for all the goals. I mean, depending on the slate, clearly, but for cash games, I mean, I think Pope is actually, I wouldn't say goalkeepers are usually possibilities or viable options in cash games, but 5,800 for Nick Pope. He doesn't had a negative score all season. You got to think that, yeah, no matter how this match goes, really, he's gonna get saves. Even if this match is 2-2, in that case, Leicester are getting opportunities in front of net. There's gonna be saves available to Pope, who, he averages 3-4 saves a match. So he combined that with the possibility of another clean sheet, which they just had against Tottenham. And 5,800, it's not too expensive at all. What left back Luke Thomas, 6,000. He really doesn't do much. He surprisingly just doesn't have enough crosses for me to go with him over someone like Pope. Yeah, just going down the list. As mentioned, Schmeichel. I'm not as high in that one. At 6,400. Again, Leicester don't have a clean sheet since last year, so that's last February. I'll go further with that. And then you get down here, and DD 5,000. That seems like a lot. You get the center backs. Cool. Nothing too exciting. And then you see Josh Brownhill, 4,400. I know as this over the weekend we had Ryan Belangi. He's running a heater. I think he just took first in the in the cup showdown over the weekend. He mentioned, if Westwood's not starting, Brownhill is going to be in all of his lineups. And then unfortunately, Brownhill had a yellow card in the first half, finished with 4.1 points. So, it seems like Brownhill's back into his old role. Like those two matches he had, probably going to be the outliers on the season, maybe outliers on his career. Maybe that's a dark outlook on him, but he's still 4,400. And if Jack Cork starts, you still have the possibility of set pieces. So it's not the worst idea in the world, but 4,400. So now that I've run down through, pretty much everything, let's do some, GPP strategy. So if we consider what McNeil and Madison, probably the most popular captains, I'd say Veghorst may be next on that list just because of his old goal odds and how cheap he is. I kind of like if you want to go with a Burnley to win route, like Veghorst makes a lot of sense because like you compare Veghorst and Daka here. I assume Daka is going to start. He's been the guy lately, even though he went 90 last Thursday in the Europa League. But Daka at captain is 16.8K, and then you got Veghorst at 10.8K. So like when you look at their basically similar goal odds and then the pricing on this, it just makes sense that Veghorst will probably be popular. And then you include Leicester's iffy back line in there. So I liked him initially just because of, the situation and, how well he's actually playing for Burnley. But his popularity may move me off him to, a different route. I wonder, if Jay Rodriguez starts, he could be like a decent GPP option. Like no one's really going to look at him for that. He's a guy that'll be, sub 5K or sorry, sub 5% here. Like people are going to look at his game logs. They're going to see the 0.2 points he had last match. Didn't really do anything at Crystal Palace, but we've seen it a lot of times. What was the Manchester United match? He had Burnley's goal. He finished with 15 points. Like there's not the question with Jay Rodriguez is if Cornet is going to be on the bench. If Maxwell Cornet's on the bench, he will probably come in for Jay Rodriguez. It'd probably be between, depending on how the match is going, it'll be between Aaron Lennon and Jay Rodriguez for who Cornet comes in for. So that'll be something to look out for. But, just Jay Rodriguez here, he's not going to be popular. I think that'll be, a route that, again, we talked about it on the weekend show. Like Jay Rodriguez captain is the same as the Hee-Chan Huang captain for Wolves. Whenever that match was, that was the Thursday. That was the Arsenal match, and Hee-Chan was, what won Ryan Balaji the 10K. And it's kind of the same kind of route, just going, the opposite, the other forward that isn't as popular for the team here. But so Veghorst popular. I think Patson Daka actually will not be popular as a captain. Maybe he slightly has the best odds to score. And again, I worry about his full 90 potential, but that's what's going to make him like a decent GPP route, like probably sub 10% for captains. He's the most expensive player with, no floor. So you got to think not many people are going to be going that route. Yeah, I mean, Tielemans is always a possibility because he could be on PKs, I want to say, without Vardy. He's always a possibility, but I mean, those are kind of the guys I'm looking at. It really depends who starts. Again, you get in that range of you probably Harvey Barnes, he should get some attention. Lookman will get some attention. In the lower range, like I'm not a Westwood captain guy. That's just not it's just not what I do, especially for GPPs. I mean, if you want to do Westwood captain and cash games and hope he gets to 8 points, like that's fine. But like, why don't you just like I just like captaining Nick Pope in that situation a little more. So what do we have here? Westwood 10.2K captain, Nick Pope 8.7K for captain. Like I don't know. It's not like you want 8 points out of Westwood and like I don't know, Pope, it seems like the worst game Pope can have right now is 4 points. So like you're getting that's four saves, two goals allowed, and that's 4 points. It's the worst that's pretty much in his recent matches, that's the worst he can do. So I kind of like the Pope route. If you want that clean sheet win, go full Burnley here. Um, in that situation, like you're probably gonna have money left over. Depends who starts. You probably want, you're gonna want the set pieces with McNeil. Probably get a Veghorst in there. I don't know if you want both Veghorst and Jay Rodriguez. That'll be a decision you can make for yourself. But as for Charlie Taylor, he should start now because Eric Peters has an injury, has a knee issue. So looks like Charlie Taylor's going to be back. He's too expensive, but you're going to have money left over because you're captaining Nick Pope. Um, and then Connor Roberts on their side, 5.4K. And then you're going to have enough money for 10.6K. Throw in James Madison, and there you go. Like that's probably an extreme method. That's very extreme. It's probably not going to exactly what I'm going to do, but like if you want Pope, you can go full Burnley, 4-2 Burnley, 5-1 Burnley. But like I said again at the top of the show, if Burnley get a first half goal, you try and get that goal with Burnley, but then you try and get like if Leicester are pushing for the final 45, the final 60 or whatever, you're getting all the corners with Madison. You're getting a guy like Tielemans taking shots from 30 yards out. You're getting that. And you're kind of filling up on guys who you're probably going to go the full 90. They're probably going to be playing for the final 15 minutes when, Burnley are bunkered in and Leicester are just crossing, shooting constantly. Like, so in that situation, like a guy like Daka is probably going to be at the end of the match. But someone like Dewsbury Hall, who, he seems to go 90s. No, he's pretty much gone in the full 90, um, pretty much the last couple months here. So like Dewsbury Hall, maybe someone, other people aren't really going to look at, especially if you're captain and Nick Pope. But, there's a strategy. Once you get Pope, you get Masson, you get Dewsbury Hall, and you get two Tielemans. So you get those guys in there. You get Veghorst and maybe one of the fullbacks for the clean sheet. So, I mean, again, this is very exact situation here. But all right, so I've been talking for over 20 minutes here, but well, we're getting congratulations in the comments. I did not win. This was Ryan Belangi. I am Adam Zdroik. I did not take down the EFL Showdown, but yes, congrats to Ryan. But anyways, I wanted this to be, 15 minutes, but I just kept going. I kept going, but hopefully this helped. Well, this will help people with the showdown. So thanks for listening. Again, rotowire.com/soccer trial. Free 10-day trial, no credit card required. I've been using the cheat sheet here. And that, again, we have cheat sheets for pretty much every slate you can find at DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, whatever. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm at RotoZadroik on Twitter. And we'll be back. We'll be previewing the Saturday 5-game slate this weekend. So get ready for that. And then we also got kits and wagers coming to you. Our betting show that's on Thursday. Me and Chris own. So, anyways, thanks for this. Thanks for listening, and hopefully it will help. I'm gonna go. Let's try and get this Pope captain. Let's try and get this the win clean sheet, and 10 corners from Madison, 5 shots from Tielemans, and let's go with that Veghorst goal and just pray that Jay Rodriguez does not steal the goal from Veghorst or something like that. But anyways, thanks for listening. This has been the Roto Wire Fantasy Soccer Show. We will see you later in the week.